What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Salt Check Podcast. My name's Bryce, aka Bruce Jablonca. I'm here with
Kaleb or War Monkey 75.
today. It's episode 5 of the pod, baby. Last episode, we did a whole episode dedicated to Pixar movies and how we ranked them. So, yeah, this week back to regular 3 segment show. We're going to start with our top 9 favorite Pokemon generations and why. Then we're going to do a trivia segment with Caleb, the normal. And then we're going to end with the top 10. So, yeah. You want to start with Pokemon?
Sure.
This list was very interesting for me. I didn't put nearly as much time into this as I did the top 10. A good chunk of this was the top part of my top 9.
Yeah.
You want me to go first?
Sure.
At number 9. You want to guess what I have at number 9?
Probably Gen 9.
Gen 9. I said this in the episode before. I can't remember if it was probably not the last episode, but me and Caleb bought the 2 pack of the game, and then I never played it. Paid $60 to have a game to sit in my room. I'm not saying that means it's bad. I haven't even seen much gameplay on it, to be honest. I've strayed away, so when I do play it, it's kind of like everything's new. So, yeah, that's really all I gotta say about it.
At number 9, I've got Gen 8.
Gen 8?
Yep.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Game was way too easy. You level up so fast in it.
Okay, I understand that. In my head, I think of them as the game and the Pokemon in it. That's how I ranked it.
Yeah. I mean, the legendaries are sick. I really liked Zamazenta and Zacian. Zacian was like a huge meta defining Pokemon because its ability was so overpowered, and its stats were crazy. But I don't know. I played through it once and then like instantly played through it again, but I nuzlocked it and now I'm just sick of it. I played it too much in too short of a time. But the EXP share on that game, you like have to do pretty much no grinding, and then if you do one of the raid battles and you get the candies, you give them like 5 like XL candies, and they're like level 50. It's like, "Oh, okay. That's easy." But the DLC was neat. I mean, you can like have your Pokemon follow you and everything, but it's only on those islands. It's like, "Oh,
Yeah.
all right."
I mean, I don't know. I'll save my Gen 8 for when I get to it. So,
Yeah. I mean, I like that they brought back the birds and gave them new forms, and like Regidrago and Regieleki were also there. Like that's cool. Kubfu's neat. You can either go like the dark style or the water style with a single form or the multiple punch form. Like that guy's cool. The dojo bit's cool. I just think it was too easy. I wish there was like a difficulty modifier for the game, which is kind of nuzlocking. But
mhm, I understand that.
yeah, I mean, I still really enjoyed the game, but eh,
At number 8, I have Gen 7, which is,
Sun and Moon.
yeah,
Yeah,
proves my point.
yeah,
I despise Sun and Moon. I think they really tried to make something new for Pokemon. They broke the barrier. They didn't do gym fights anymore. It was all like totem fights or whatever they're
hmm
called. I never beat the game. I think I started the game and I quit right after. I think it's dumb. I never really enjoyed the starters. Couldn't even name them off the top of my head right now. Um, think the legendaries are cool. I mean, but I think legendaries are cool in like every game for the most part.
Yeah.
You have to do something really awful for me to not like the legendary in the gen. Yeah, it's my opinion. I've like tried like I can't even watch people play the game.
Yeah.
Like I've tried like my favorite Pokemon YouTubers include like uh Original 151, like United Hayes or Dylan,
hmm
all those people. And I've watched like even Vinny can't make that game fun for me. Like the most fun part of that whole game was listening to him talk. Like I just don't enjoy it. I don't know. Maybe I'm just a big hater, but yeah, that's my number 8.
Um, yeah, probably should have put Gen 8 in a different spot now, to be honest. Like I'm
Yeah.
looking at it and I'm like, um, I'll mention where I should have put that later. But yeah, next up, my number 8, Gen 7.
Yeah.
The islands, You got like all the tapus. It's like no one remembers their name. So I just like actually I bet I could you got like Tapu Bulu, Tapu Fini, Tapu Lele, and then the most popular one that I don't remember the name of.
Coco? Type of Coco maybe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Um let's see. Didn't they introduce Z moves? Or was that different gen?
I want to say it was that.
Yeah, I think so because then you had to
It was either that or like the Mega Ruby Alpha Sapphire
yeah.
game, which were the same gen technically. They were
Came
made around the
out
same time,
at the
so
same time. Um yeah, I mean I think I'm like getting the stories mixed up in my head. But I mean, it was like an interesting spin. It's like just the 4 totem challenges versus the regular gyms. But I feel like it was kind of cut short then because it's like just 4 challenges versus the regular 8 gyms. But yeah, I'm like regretting putting it where it was. I don't know why I put Gen 8. I don't know. I like the legendaries. I like the whole like the Cosmog thing
hmm.
where it can evolve into either of them, like the Cosmog to Cosmoem to Lunala or Solgaleo. They have cool shinies. I think that's probably what put it there. 'Cause I really like the legendaries in it. But
Makes sense.
yeah, I mean, you could make the argument that Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon were like really good.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've never played them though.
I've never played them. I watched them because it was like the game that you could get mega like you could just mega farm Pokemon out of it through the like the Ultra Beast wormholes, which seemed cool. Also, didn't they introduce Ultra Beasts in this gen?
Probably, yeah.
Um, which is a whole nother thing because they're not legendaries or mythics. They're like wacky. Like Guzzlord is just this huge mouth. He's got a bunch of arms. It's like, okay. Celestelia is just like a building.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, some of them are cool. They're really wacky. It's kind of like an excuse to not make them actual Pokemon. Like,
Yeah.
but some other like special guys that come out of the world randomly. So I guess you could make that argument, but it's kind of hard because I haven't played them.
hmm
But still.
Yeah. Next up, at number 7, which I think it was kind of hard to put this here, but I have Gen 6, which is X and Y. Um, I really enjoyed playing through X and Y.
Mm-hmm.
It was really fun playing the first like 3D like
Yeah.
DS game. Um, as I've gotten older, I think Mega is that what they're called? Mega Evolutions?
Mm-hmm.
I think they're really underrated in my opinion, just because they only gave them to like 20 or so
Yeah.
Pokemon, which made it fun. I feel like if they gave everyone a Mega Evolution, it'd be like, all right, now you're
Yeah.
pushing it. But like at the time, we were all kind of like hating on Mega Evolutions, besides like the Mewtwo and like the Charizards that were
Yeah,
really
pretty much.
sick. But like then they started making like all the other like kind of evolutions going forward, and it made me kind of miss Mega Evolutions because they were
Mm-hmm.
more simple, and going around and finding all the like the little pieces, like I don't remember what they're called,
All
like
of them are different.
the
It's
items that you put on them to make a
yeah.
evolve was really fun. Like Mega Lucario was sick just because
Yeah.
everyone loves Lucario, and it was like, oh my god, that's
Yeah.
awesome. um My only issue with the game is like it's kind of forgettable at some points. The story's pretty forgettable. Like I can't even really tell you what happened in it.
Yeah.
Um I enjoyed the Pokemon like Greninja. Pretty
The
iconic
goat.
Pokemon now.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's pretty much all I got though for Gen 6. It was hard putting it that low, but at the end of the day I couldn't find as many pros as the ones I have above it. So,
Makes sense. Number 7. I've got Gen 9. The Pokemon in it? Lechonk. He's neat.
that's all I remember.
um, I got like 3/4 of the way through it, and I still enjoyed it. Like the free roam aspect is primarily the reason it's so high. Like that's really fun. I mean, I don't want to say much because I don't want to spoil it for you, but it's like you can go anywhere, but sometimes there's like a level cap where it's like, oh, there's like you have chances to go anywhere you want, but you'll just be severely out leveled, and it's like, oh, guess I just can't go this way.
It's like the open area in
Yeah,
Shield and
yeah,
Sword, like where you're like, oh, there's a level 50 when I'm a level 10, and then you just get smoked.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's that area, but it's like the whole world. So like you can quite literally just run around and see a bunch of Pokemon on your screen. And that's what's cool. It's like there's no like grass encounters anymore. They're all
Hmm.
just there. It's like I really like the physical aspect of seeing the Pokemon in game.
Hmm.
Um, but that's probably what made it so high for me. And there's like 3 different objectives you can go for throughout the game, like 3 major things that you end up doing anyways, but it's like either gyms or defeating the bad guys, or there's the other thing you gotta like pursue this one quest that you have to like find Pokemon slash like find the legendary
Hmm.
to get them upgraded. Um, the legendaries are cool. Can't remember their name off the top of my head.
No idea.
Um,
I just remember Lechonk.
yeah, the chunk. Yeah, it's Koraidon and Miraidon, which I think it's silly to use them as like the all-terrain thing. Like you just ride on them. It's like I get it. No more HM slaves. Like that's really nice. I like that about the later games
Hmm.
because it doesn't take up a party slot and you don't have to just sack one of your Pokemon. Sorry, Bibarel. Uh,
Yeah.
but no, the story's neat. The rival is kind of weird for what they have to. You'll get it when the rival gets explained, but it's just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, super fun.
At number 6, I have Gen 8, Sword and Shield. I think I have this higher than you because it was my first Pokemon experience since X and Y, really. Like, besides the older games, because I skipped Sun and Moon. Wasn't a huge fan of those games.
Yeah.
Um, and I got it. I'm doing exactly what I did with this game, pretty much. I got it, never played it. And one day you're like, oh, you should play it. I'm like, okay. Played it like pretty much in like 2 days and beat it.
Yeah.
It was really fun. I also enjoy the replayability at the time because you would always like me and Caleb beat the Pokédex in the game too, which was
Yep.
really fun. Um, and then DLC, that was fun. Made me want to come back to the game again, which
Mm-hmm.
is nice. I think the wild area at the time I was like, but like it's pretty good. Like it's fun. That really helped with finding Pokemon too for the
Yeah.
Pokédex. Instead of going flying around like everywhere, you just had to like walk around like the wild area and find them eventually. I remember Lapras was such a pain in the ass for me to find because it was like at a certain time of day and like a certain lake, and you can only find them that way.
Yeah.
And then we ended up just doing like one of those big battles, like the or the huge, I forgot what they're called,
Oh
Gigantamax.
yeah.
And then I caught it that way. And then of course like a day later I found him just roaming around the lake. But yeah, no, I enjoyed the game. I think the rival's goofy. Forgot his name. Um I enjoy like the new like Elite Four kind of thing. Like the champion battle was fun.
Yeah.
Um, I enjoyed the gym battles. I think its one flaw is that it's really easy. I think it's the easiest game to hop on if you've never played a Pokemon game,
Yeah.
though, which I can appreciate. So, yeah, that's where I have Gen 8.
Yeah, that's where I wanted. I should have put Gen 8 at my number 6 and then just knocked everything down one more. Um, but number 6, I've got Gen 6. X and Y. Classic. Um, Mostly because of Mega Evolutions. They're super cool. But like you said, when they came out, everyone was like, "This is stupid."
Yeah,
Like these are dumb. Um, and then yeah, I really like the legendaries. Like I know Yveltal, but is it like Xerneas?
yeah, Xerneas.
Um, Xerneas is super OP. Just was because Fairy got introduced in Gen
Yeah, that
6.
too. That was another thing that
Yeah.
we were all hating on at the time, but
Yeah.
it was like whatever now.
Um, cause sorry, dragons. Just
They were way too
they
overpowered, to be
were.
fair. And
Yeah.
like and ice types suck in Pokemon,
Yeah, because
so
they have so many weaknesses.
yeah.
But yeah, no, a lot of people hated on fairy types, which it also changed like a lot of the previous Pokemon. Like, I don't know, I think Wigglytuff is fairy now.
Yeah, Clefairy, like
Yeah.
those types of Pokemon.
Yeah, but which is fine.
Yeah.
We kind of we needed a dragon counter, but it
Yeah.
also made Steel so much more overpowered because now Steel counters fairy and
Yeah, and Steel doesn't have that many weaknesses. There's
yeah.
always going to be a loophole with types, pretty much, unless they make another one that just like really resets all of it, pretty much.
Yeah.
So there's not many Steel types either. So that
Yeah.
that kind of helps. But yeah, no, I agree with you on that.
Um, but yeah, whipping out Oblivion Wing on Yveltal always felt awesome just because it's like this huge like beam that's like black and red and it's just like yes, and then you also get the life steal from it. It's like yeah, it's just like oh, but yeah, that's what I mean, I don't remember the story that much to be
I don't
honest.
either.
um yeah, but also Greninja's awesome. Even though I didn't choose Froakie, I chose Chespin. But
Big, like fun fact on my end is when the game came out in like what, like fifth grade, we were in Boy Scouts. I remember this. We were at that funny museum.
oh yeah,
I don't know what it's called. We were sleeping overnight in a museum for Boy Scouts, which was fun. Like so fun. I remember that so well. But we slept on the floor, which sucked. And then I got sick because we
yeah,
slept on the floor, and I felt like dog water. I think we all did afterwards because we literally slept on the dusty ass floor of the museum.
yeah.
but the day that we came back was the day that it came out, and I was like, no, I feel so garbage. I just want to play the game. So my mom went and got it for me when it came out because I got Pokemon X. Because everyone
Yeah.
was like, I want Y. I'm like, fine, I guess I'll take Pokemon X.
I mean, we usually get opposite games,
Yeah.
so
Well, I think at the time Jaden also wanted Y, and I was like, fine, I guess I'll get X. And then, yeah, I didn't even end up playing that day because I just felt so garbage.
yeah.
But yeah, and also my YouTube name in like fifth grade was the Wise Froakie.
Yep.
So yeah, got that one under my belt.
And then I think one of the games, if you pre-ordered it, you get like the Ash Greninja. I have that. I don't know how I got it.
I do not have that.
Um, Also, that's not the first time that Boy Scouts cock blocked me from playing Pokemon. When when Gen 7 came out, um, we in Boy Scouts we would go to this cave. I don't know if you ever went to it. I'm not gonna say the name of the cave,
I don't
but
think I went because I
um,
don't know.
there's a cave we would drive like an hour to, but we could explore the cave. We could go spelunking, and then we would camp out inside of the cave.
I
And
definitely didn't go to this.
yeah. And then there was like an arcade at like the main spot where it was super fun. We'd all play like Street Fighter and stuff. But I went with Alex, and I remember like the cave is always so crowded to like where you can actually sleep because it's like the first two floors of it, and then the rest is like you probably shouldn't sleep there. Um, but I remember pre-ordering Sun and uh, Moon, and Alex was like checking his phone, and he's like, "It is at my house right now." It's like I
God.
can't wait to play it when I get home. And then we got home like the day after release, and it was just there, and it was like, oh, well, time to play Sun and Moon.
Yep.
Like,
And then that proceeded to be like the most disappointing like
yeah,
game. Yeah. I like I said, I've never played Gen 9. That's why it's last for me.
mm-hmm,
Otherwise, I think Sun and Moon would be dead last. If even if I played like half of Gen 9, I think it'd be dead last
yeah.
because I just don't like Sun and Moon. Number 5. I think this is gonna be pretty surprising to you. I
Oh,
have Gen 2.
oh wow.
The reason I have Gen 2 is because Heart Gold and like Soul Silver came out for Gen 4. I don't consider that a part of Gen 2. It's a remake of Gen 2,
Yeah.
but I don't consider it to be Gen 2. Um, I I'm pretty sure I said this already. I had a Game Boy and I played through Gold, and obviously it's not very good graphics on the Game Boy. Looks pretty goofy,
Yeah.
but it was still fun. Um, my biggest issue with Gen 2 is it's so much like Gen 1. Like I'd say like 75% of the Pokemon you find in Gen 2 is Gen 1 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
Gen 2 is extremely small. Like they only added like 80 Pokemon, I
Yeah.
think. Most of them were babies or like higher evolutions of previous Gen 1 Pokemon.
Mm-hmm.
They added I love the legendaries from Gen 2. Ho-Oh and Lugia are like legendary to me.
Yeah.
Um, the starters are legendary. Like Typhlosion's like one of my top 5 favorite Pokemon ever, just because
Mm-hmm.
that was my first starter.
Yeah.
Um, but it's one of the most people put Gen 2 like dead last just because of how small it is. But like I appreciate Gen 2, so yeah, that's where I have it.
All right. For my fifth spot, I've got Gen 5. The music,
It's so good.
best in the series. Hands down. There has not been better music since Gen 5 or
Mm,
before Gen 5. It's so good. I got Pokemon White. Always been a huge Zekrom guy. I still have my original cartridges for all the games. I have over like 200 hours on that game.
I think I want to say for Black, I think I had like 268 hours.
It's
Black 2, I had like 203 hours on.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's like I grinded to get my team like almost to all level 100, just going to like Nimbasa City and just going through like the double battles and single battles in this one place just so I could absolutely stomp them with like
Mm,
Kyurem and Embor and like all of them. I remember I got Meloetta, which is a very hard Pokemon to get. It's like it was an event within like the first week of the game.
hmm
And then if you pre-ordered the game, maybe it's the other way around, but if you pre-ordered it, you can also get Victini, which I also got Victini. You had to like make it so far and then go in the special room and then you could catch Victini, which yeah,
Pretty sure I even got Victini. I was
yeah.
never a big pre-order fan, but I
Mm-hmm.
got Victini. So
Maybe it was a Meloetta thing then. I don't know.
I don't know, man.
But a lot of people hate on the Pokemon that were introduced, like I've mentioned before. Like a lot of people hate on Litwick being a literal candle,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I really like Zoroa and Zoroark. Like
hmm
those two are sick
Yeah.
just because of their ability. I mean, I don't really use them because they're not that strong,
hmm
but you can catch some people off guard with that. It's like the first Pokemon to ever kind of like disguise themselves since kind of Ditto, because Ditto like legitimately just transforms, but Zoroark keeps everything. It just looks like the other Pokemon, which that's how they're kind of similar, but it was the first Pokemon to do anything like that. Um, the starters are pretty sick, like Tepig, Snivy, and Oshawott, all pretty good. Rusherim's pretty sick, and then yeah, with White 2 and Black 2. I feel like the story was long, like really long. I
hmm
don't remember it that much. And then there was like the legendary swap, so it's like, oh, do I get White 2 or Black 2? Cuz with White you get Zekrom, but White 2 you get Reshiram. It's like I see what you're doing there. And then you can also like fuse them with Kyurem, which is also cool.
hmm
But yeah, no, solid game. Banger music.
I'm gonna get a lot of people heated with my top four. Number four, I have Gen 1.
Okay.
Here's why. I never played Gen 1, like the first, like blue, red.
Yeah.
I love Fire Red and Leaf Green. Those are like probably top five games, in my
Mm-hmm.
opinion. They're so fun. The entire gen is so legendary, but I didn't experience them like my top three gens above them. I I don't think there's any Pokemon Gen 1 that I don't like. Like they're all just that solid.
Yeah.
Um and it also helps that the Indigo League show was awesome too.
Yeah.
It's so good. Um the only issue with that is the filler episodes are brutal. They're so
Yeah.
bad. Yeah, no. But I don't get me wrong. Like top 5 gens here could change in my head in the next week. Like this is just how I feel right now. I
Mm-hmm.
love Gen 1 and even if with it at 4, I love it. So, it's no hate. It's just how I feel right now.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
This will be controversial. At number 4, I've got Gen 3. Great game. Um, except the one part with the bikes.
Go watch that episode. I'll link that down below. That episode of our series was so funny. Like, god damn it. Just real time, like when I finally got it and having to watch you and like trying to explain it was so, oh god, it was so bad.
Yeah.
It's
So on our actual channels, we have a randomizer Nuzlocke Emerald playthrough, and then we uploaded our episodes on different channels. But there's playlists on each of our channels you
mhm.
can just go to and look
It's a
and just
very
watch
fun
them.
series.
Yeah. Um, just like the random things that would happen in it were great. Uh, which yeah, no, I really like that game. The legendaries are sick, except the show off animation's funny because Kyogre's got like this whole sea and Groudon's just like on a rock. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. Um, but great starters. People really like those
Yeah,
starters. They're like
they're
obsessed
very
with
good.
all three of them, and I don't blame them. It's hard picking a starter for that gen. I'd probably pick.
It changes every day how
Yeah,
I
it's
feel
like
about that. They're all
yeah,
so good.
yeah. Um, but no, Rayquaza's also sick. Like, and then Mega Rayquaza coming out being absolutely overpowered. But yeah, Gen 3, it's a fun map. I like how much you have to like jump around. But yeah.
Number three, I have Gen 5, Black and White. I love these games.
Yeah.
When they first came out, it was so hated on. And, I partaked in that crowd a little bit. But my like 270 plus hours on that game proves otherwise.
Yeah.
It was easily the game. What?
I didn't even talk about the animated sprites.
They're great.
Yeah.
Like, oh God, yeah. Don't even get me started on that. Those make randomizers so fun just because of how great the battle animations are in that game.
Yeah.
That game is so good. The music is amazing in those games. Like, you can say all you want about how goofy the Pokemon in the generation is. They're like how they're just like based off normal things, but I think that gives that generation like its own little thing. Maple's going nuts in the other room. I think that gives that like world its own spin. Like how like the four generations before that Pokemon were like creatures.
Yeah.
But like in that generation, like imagine like I don't know, like that chair just turned into a Pokemon or whatever. Like that's how it like felt. Like it just
Yeah.
felt like normal, ordinary things were Pokemon, which I found kind of cool. That the like final four in that game or whatever, the Elite Four are
Yeah.
so hard,
Yeah.
and the championship fight was so hard. N is a great rival. Like the whole story with that is amazing in my
Yeah.
opinion. Reshiram and Zekrom are great. Um, when you like beat the Elite Four and then like the thing drops, it's
Uh-huh.
so crazy. It's like, what is going on right now?
Yeah.
Like the back to back to back fights at the end are nuts. It's just, I love that game. All the starters are fun, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Snivy's a little like, goes like Oshawott, Tepig, and then Snivy's down here. But like, and like, you can give the rivals crap all you want, but like having two
True.
rivals was pretty
Yeah.
fun. So yeah, that's my opinion on Gen 5.
All right. Number 3, I've got Gen 1. Um, the starters can't get any better than that, to be honest. Like
No.
those three are so iconic. Pretty much everyone knows who they are. Like if you just have them on a shirt, people will know. They're like, "Oh yeah, that's
Yeah, everyone knows those
yeah."
Pokemon.
I mean, aside from like Pikachu, but like Eevee, also iconic. Um, but Charizard, like what?
It's great. I will say it's barreling towards one of the most overrated Pokemon ever though.
Yeah, people are. people know it too much.
Yeah.
uh, but no, the Indigo League, like you said, I have VHS tape. Ah. I have VHS tapes of the Indigo League. That's funny. I bet some of these people don't even know what VHS is. Like, that's not funny. uh, but no. There's also the whole thing with that one town, just not like Platinum Town, but that scary town at the end. Forgetting the name.
Lavender Town?
Lavender Town.
Yeah.
All the theories surrounding that, like that's spooky.
Dude, the Pokemon iceberg runs so low. Have you ever watched those videos?
Mm-mm.
They're insane. There's like they're called Pokemon icebergs, and like basically the top is like the most well-known like fan theories,
Mm-hmm.
and they'll go down and every level gets more and more like deep and
Huh.
like we'll have to watch them together. There's
Okay.
some like pretty deep cuts of like
Yeah.
fan theories in Pokemon that are pretty crazy. So
Yeah. And then like the whole like dead Marowak and Cubone thing, like oh, man. It's like why would they put that in Gen 1? Like
yeah, dude, I don't even know if the Lavender Town like kids killing themselves over that's real or not. I still
yeah.
don't know if that's a thing. Like, yeah, there's a lot of legendary things from that. Not saying kids killing themselves are
No, yeah.
legendary, but like just that whole time period of like the creepy pasta like Lavender Town stuff and like hearing about like the like cursed music that would run through it or whatever.
Yeah.
I still genuinely don't know if that's just a creepy pasta or not, which I think makes the like the mystery of that even better.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Yeah. No. Lavender Town definitely contributes to like a big chunk of why I ranked it higher.
Mm-hmm.
But good old Mewtwo, solid.
Every Pokemon in that gen is good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like we used to like try and see how fast we can remember every single Gen
I
1
still do that
Pokemon.
occasionally.
Yeah, but yeah, no, it's stuff you can't beat in that gen.
Mm-hmm. Number two. Are we at two? Yeah.
Yeah.
Gen 4. And I know it's going to frustrate you a lot. Gen 4, the reason it's not number one is because I didn't get to experience Platinum like most people. I played Diamond, I played Heart Gold, and then Black came out kind of quick, and then I never really got to experience Platinum. Diamond and Pearl, while they're great games, were extremely slow games. They really fixed that in Platinum. I think the Pokemon are great in Gen 4. The legendaries arguably are the best legendaries of all time. Um, I just never got to experience it like most, like you did. Like I remember as a kid, you were always like, "Oh, I love Platinum," but I'm like, "I love Heart Gold." And, like that's just how we were. That was like the most different thing we were as kids.
Yeah,
And I think Garantina's amazing. It's one of the best Pokemon.
yeah.
Like those starters are also amazing. I like the gym battles. Yeah, no, very great gen in my opinion. So
And number two, I've got Gen 2. Reason being, I had like Soul Silver and Heart Gold in mind. It's like I don't think I've ever played through the actual Gen 2, so it's like without the remakes in mind, it would probably be like I don't know, 6,
that's how
7.
that's how I felt. Like I
Yeah.
played them, but like I don't really count Gen or like the remakes as Gen
Yeah.
2 in my opinion.
Okay.
So
Yeah, but that's how I ranked it. So as Soul Silver,
mhm.
it's like I'll try and keep it short, but the starters, great. I I don't remember who I picked. Probably
Yeah,
Totodile.
I think you did pick Totodile.
Because you always pick Cyndaquil, which is like whatever.
Fucking furious about it.
Yeah. No, I've got Soul Silver and Heart Gold copies, I still have the original boxes and the Pokewalkers. Like,
Probably sell those for like
yeah,
800
I got
combined.
like the deluxe Soul Silver copy too. So it's like this big like silver thing with a giant Lugia on the front. Like, yeah, it's crazy. But um the whole thing of like beating the 8 gyms and going to the other region and fighting 8 more is like
Could go on about that all day.
yeah,
It
like
was so crazy as a kid because I didn't know that was a thing, and then
yeah.
it happened. It's just like, holy.
Yeah. And then going to fight Red after. It's just I feel like Red wasn't found until like a couple of years after the game came out.
Yeah, I mean, I have the the book for
Oh yeah.
Kanto,
Yeah.
and I think it mentions that Red is up in the mountain.
Hmm.
I don't think it like shows you how to get there,
Yeah.
but I think it's on there. So,
Interesting. But yeah, I'll keep that short.
Gen 1, this or Gen 1, number 1. This might be controversial, but I have Gen 3.
Yeah.
I love Gen 3. I cannot find a single like thing I dislike about Gen 3. And replaying that as a randomizer,
Yeah.
like just re-sparked how much I love that game. I had all three on Game Boy. I had all three games at some point. I don't have a single Pokemon game hard copy anymore besides like the Switch games, which is really sad. I don't know where anything went. Like
Hmm.
as I was moving as a kid, things just disappear. Like
Yeah.
or they get sold off. I don't know. Like break. But like as you said earlier, and I kept this to myself, I think Gen 3's starters are the best starters of all time.
Yeah.
I think it's the hardest decision probably ever in
Mhm.
Pokemon between those three. Only one I can think of that's maybe better is Gen 1, but like that would be a conversation for a different day.
Yeah.
The Gen 3 legendaries, in my opinion, are the best legendaries. Kyogre, Groudon, and Rayquaza are just nuts.
Yeah.
That scene, like on their original Game Boy of them, like the standoff is so fun. Like it's just so sick.
Yeah.
Um, the Elite Four, are great. Champion fight, is great. I enjoy the rival. I think And I think like the start where the professor's getting chased around by that uh Zigzagoon, I think it
Yeah.
is one of the best starts of any Pokemon game, in my opinion. I know that kind of happened with like Oak too, but
Mhm.
like I don't know. And like you could say some of the Pokemon like early Gen 3 like early aren't that great because they kind of give you a harder like start to the game,
Mhm.
but I think that harder start makes it more fun. Um, I enjoy when Pokemon games are hard.
Yeah.
I've probably nuzlocked that game so many times as a kid, and yeah, I don't know. I'll keep it kind of short since we're running pretty. We're already 45 minutes in. This is our
Yeah.
first segment.
Yeah.
Um, this is gonna be a long episode, guys. Sorry about that. Maybe I'll upload in parts. We'll see. Yeah, Gen 3. I already know what your number one is.
Yeah.
I knew it before the video even started,
Anyone
so
who knows me knows I'm a big sucker for Gen 4.
yeah.
My first game, Platinum, on my DSi. This is like not long after it came out. I'm pretty sure my grandparents gave it to me too. Uh no. It's got my favorite Pokemon in it, primarily being like my number one favorite, which is Darkrai, and then second is like Giratina, like a close second. Um no, I Platinum's just great. Like I don't think I've played through Diamond or Pearl, so I don't really know the
You
difference.
didn't miss much.
Yeah.
It is Platinum is quite literally just a better version of Diamond and Pearl. So
um yeah, I remember going back to like Spear Pillar and being able to catch Palkia and Dialga, like, oh my god, I've got all three. And then if you happen to get the Arceus flute or the I don't think it's called the Arceus flute, but the like the Obsidian flute or something like something. Um which whether that was a hack or not, Arceus was in the game. There's a whole event about it. Like,
That was pretty crazy. I
yeah,
remember that pretty well. Like
yeah.
just going on YouTube and like seeing my suggested like I found Arceus. It's like,
Oh, yeah.
okay.
And my parents actually got me an action replay. Like, and you'd plug the cartridge into it
Yeah,
and plug it into your DS, and like I was so young that I couldn't figure out like how to actually use it or anything. And then like a couple days later my dad was like, "Actually, we're gonna take this back." He's like, "We read that it could like screw up your game or your DS." And
that's
I'm
why I
like,
never owned one. My
"Yeah.
dad was not a fan of that, and I was just like, I don't want to lose my DS over this.
Yeah." So then they're like, "Yeah, no, we're not gonna we're just gonna take this away." So,
Yeah.
um but yeah, no, it's got Cresselia. Cresselia's great. Did Celebi come out? I think
No,
Celebi.
it was Gen 2.
Yeah.
You're saying
Um.
Jirachi.
Yeah. But yeah, Team Galactic. Great, great like organization to fight against. But Gen 4 introduced a lot of like I think they were much needed Pokemon. For example, you've got Electivire and like
Oh
Magnezone
yeah.
or Mag.
Yeah, Magnezone,
Yeah,
Magmortar,
Magmortar. Yeah,
like all those. Electivire, great.
yeah. I mean, you could make the argument that like it's kind of like a copy of Gen 2 where they just added like the extra Pokemon,
Yeah,
but I feel like they added extra Pokemon and then some. Cause like yeah, like I said, Magnezone, Magmortar, Electivire, like they're all just awesome. It's like every time you get them in like special stone evolutions, it's like
that was another reason why I had Gen 3 really high was because of the bad groups.
yeah,
I really enjoyed Team
yeah,
Magma and what was it?
Aqua,
Yeah, Team Magma and Aqua were really
yeah,
fun, especially for Emerald since you have to fight both.
mm-hmm,
That was really fun.
yeah,
I think the whole like two rivals butting heads thing while you're also fighting them is really interesting to me
yeah,
because it's like it's not just Team Rocket now. It's
yeah,
like you have two different organizations that are like trying to awaken some beast that they have no clue what they're gonna do to the
yeah.
earth. Like, yeah, no, crazy.
That and like I think everyone kind of hates the distortion world.
Yeah,
I guess you could say something about like the mining area where it's like you go down and you create your own base, but it was like I don't know.
I'm not a fan of that. I
Yeah,
think they improved it in
in the
Brilliant
remake.
Diamond, but I also hate Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. It's so slow. That was another reason why I had Gen 8 super high was because I enjoyed how quick you could grind and move
Yeah.
on. The Gen 4 remakes were so hard to grind.
Yeah.
Cause sitting on my DS is one thing, cause you can sit anywhere. Like I get with the Switch you can sit anywhere too. But like I just did not have fun grinding in that game.
Mhm.
And there was a point between like Gym 7 and 8 where I was just like, this sucks. Like I'm
Yeah.
getting burnt out.
Yeah,
Like
I haven't beat the remake.
me neither.
So,
I made it to the snow gym and I haven't made it past.
yeah.
Um I do want to mention one more thing where I think Gen 2 could have been a little bit higher on my list. I really enjoy the rival with Gen 2. The
Yeah.
red-haired dude,
Yeah.
crazy. He's pretty sick. And like the whole theory he's like Giovanni's kid or whatever is
Mhm.
awesome. Like
Yeah.
I don't know, dude. We can have a whole rivals tier list. So
True. But yeah, then Dawn is great, Barry's great.
true, yeah.
Just
Barry's pretty annoying.
yeah, but it's like
Barry's like the Gen 8 one where they're both just dumb and
yeah.
like they can't get over like that they can't beat us.
Mhm.
But yeah,
And I mean, I could go on about Gen 4, but
yeah. So that was our list for tier ranking gens.
yeah.
This is gonna be a pretty long one. So
Yeah.
if you're watching at this point, man, leave a like, comment, subscribe. We can talk about Pokemon all day.
Yeah.
I didn't really factor that in.
No, I thought it was just gonna be like, oh, Gen 8, Gen 9, Gen 7, Gen 6, like that. But
When we were only like on like 6 and I saw we were at like 25 minutes, I was like, this is gonna be a long one.
yeah.
We're gonna start with trivia. Today's trivia is Captain Marvel trivia.
Oh no.
Told Caleb that. Good luck. Good luck. Finding trivia for this
Wait.
movie was
Don't I have a
hard.
prize from last time? Or is that the prize for today? The prize in the bucket.
That's for today. If you
Okay.
get 5 out of 10,
Okay.
I think you have a chance at 5 out of 10. It's gonna be hard though. So let's start off, shall we? Trivia Captain Marvel edition. Which Shield agent initially finds Carol Danvers on Earth first?
Isn't it Maria Hill? It's either that or Nick Fury.
Like, are you guessing Maria Hill?
Yeah.
Is that like your final answer?
Yeah.
It's Nick Fury.
Oh, okay.
Maria Hill is not in this movie. Your other option could have been Phil Coulson. He was in this movie. He was a rookie in this movie, actually. Gotta love Phil Coulson. He's one of my favorite agents in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
I bet you're really upset at yourself right now.
Yeah.
That was supposed to be your layup of the game, but
Well, I got it.
no, you didn't.
Yes, I did.
No, you
Yes, I
didn't.
did.
Okay. So at the beginning of the movie, you see Carol Danvers with her like group of people. They're called the Kree,
Mm-hmm.
but there's like a team with her and like 4 other people. What's the team name?
I couldn't tell you.
Yeah, like nothing in the chamber.
No, I don't know.
They're called the Star Force.
Yep. Cool.
Yep. Here's a layup. If you don't get this, then might as well just stop the trivia session now.
I think I've watched this movie once. That was when it came out.
Who's the alien cat?
Oh,
they
Goose.
find? Yes, good job.
Yeah. Big Goose fan.
Who trains Carol Danvers? Like, who's the main person in the Kree army that, like, Kree, whatever, the Kree Star Force that trains him? He ends up being the bad guy.
Yeah, I
in the
remember who it
movie.
is. I have no clue who he is, though.
Got a pretty funny name. I would personally go out and say he's like top 10 worst villains. Just because he got smoked by Captain Marvel at the end.
Yeah. No, I can, like, think of their training scene and everything, them
Mhm.
fighting, but I have no clue what his name is.
His name's Jan Rog.
Yep. I was gonna say John Smith, so.
The only reason I remember it being Jan Rog is because I always see the figure of him,
Oh, yeah.
but I don't really care to get him just because he's so bad. So who are the Kree or the Star Force? Like, who are they at war with in this movie?
The Skrulls?
Yes. Later on in the movie, one of the main Skrulls come and like align with Captain Marvel because like at the end of the day, the Skrulls aren't the bad guys in this movie. Who is that Skrull? Like, what's his name?
I know he's disguised as Nick Fury. I don't know his
Yes.
name, though. I should know it. It's something, like, really simple.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's gonna be like one of the main characters in Secret Invasion coming out this
Yeah,
summer.
makes
so.
sense. It's like Cordo.
Is that your answer?
Yep.
His name's Talos.
Yep, I knew that.
So we're at 2 out of 5 so far. 2 out of 6, actually. You're pretty much gonna have to win out here to
Yep.
get the prize.
I'm just going through this as fast as possible at this point. It's making me angry.
So, at some point in the movie, I don't remember the movie very well. But they go
Neither
to
do I.
clearly they go to a house. Good thing this is the next movie that we watch, Marvel wise. Um, they go to a house, and it's uh Carol Danvers' like former like flight like partner. Do you remember her name?
Nope.
It's a woman with her daughter.
I yeah. She gives a jacket to her.
I'll give you a hint. It's a Rambo.
I don't want to say like Natasha Rambo.
No.
I remember Rambo from the other show, but it's like Nadia,
Starts with an M.
Marissa, Monica. There we go.
Monica, your final answer.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
Oh no.
It's Maria Rambo.
Oh,
I'll just give you that one now. What character picked out Carol Danvers' suit color? She is the daughter of Maria Rambo. Who is it? You just said her name.
isn't it Monica Rambo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, this is when they introduced Monica Rambo, aka the girl from said Scarlet Witch. WandaVision.
Yeah.
And now she's also like called like Phasma or something, and she's one of the Marvels because of her powers. Anyways, yeah, yeah, you're not getting the prize.
I don't want it.
So, I didn't even know this, but
Oh.
what were the Skrulls looking for? Like the whole reason the Skrulls were like going after them in the first place. I didn't even know this was a thing.
I don't know.
It's called the Lightspeed Engine. I don't know what they needed it for. Maybe to get away from the Kree. I don't know, to be completely honest with you. All right, last question. Uh, so when Carol Danvers falls from the sky, because that's how she landed on Earth, she fell from the sky. What building did she land on? It's like a chain store. I'll give you that hint.
How she crash landed like in the woods in a plane. So the woods.
No, it's when she might have crashed a different time, but talking about when she like initially arrives on Earth after being with the Kree for a while.
Probably isn't it like Blockbuster?
It is Blockbusters. There you go. Good job. You got 4 out of 10.
I could have gotten 5 if I just
Yeah.
answered the first one
Yeah, that's
correctly.
true. But we
I don't care.
Let's see what you would have gotten.
Sure.
You would have gotten for your side of the set Captain Marvel
Oh.
action figure.
Woo! Good thing I didn't win this one.
Okay.
You can have it on your side of the side.
I don't want it on my side of the set. So yeah, that's trivia.
That was fun.
Yeah, I bet. Okay. Well, getting into the nitty gritty, baby. It's the top 10 horror movie franchises.
Thing we've
Horror
all been
movies.
waiting for.
Yeah.
And I mean all of us. And me.
Even Maple.
Yeah.
Wanted to get through that one pretty quickly.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to the Self Check Podcast.
Cutting that part out.
I wrote down what I think your number one is gonna be.
I have no idea what your number one is.
Are you sure?
I don't think so. I have no idea.
Okay.
I have 14 honorable mentions.
I have one.
We tend to have a lot of honorable mentions because we can't decide.
I
So
also have 14.
okay, cool. So
We did this, so for example, we'll take Friday the 13th, because there's like
a ton of them.
9 movies, maybe 11 movies in that series. We're just picking our favorite out of the series, writing that one down, so we don't have to rank like, oh, the first, the second, the third in the top 10. That could be like top 20 potential,
Mm-hmm.
but that's how we're doing this. So
Yeah. Disclaimer. We have a real horror fan on the other side of the table here. And then you got me, a guy who just enjoys watching the horror movies with the boys. Keep that in mind when I rank here. When I rank stuff, I think of how it made me feel, how it made if it made me scared, made me frightened, or how I felt when watching with the boys. I think watching horror movies with the boys is the best. I think you go watching with the boys, and then if you have a girlfriend, then you watch it with your girlfriend. Like going to the theater, you watch it with your girlfriend. But like at home, if you don't know how you feel about it, you watch it with the boys first. Because the boys can make any movie good, truly. So,
yeah,
do you want me to go first? Or do you want me
yeah.
to go first?
You can go first.
Okay.
I think on my list there's gonna be a ton of movies you have not heard of before.
Probably not. Or I've watched.
Yeah,
You're gonna be really mad at my honorable mentions. So,
can't wait.
yeah. All right, we're gonna start with the honorable mentions. As I say them, I have like. I obviously have 14. I was gonna say I have them somewhat in order of like how I'd rank it if it was like 20,
Yeah.
but I don't. So that was a lie. So let's get them out of the way. We got Nightmare on Elm Street on my honorable mentions. I love Freddy Krueger. I think he's a top 5 horror villain. I just never got into the I almost said Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street movies. I think I watched the first one,
Mm-hmm.
maybe the second one. They're fun. The deaths are fun. Um, doesn't really do it for me movie wise though. um, I have Friday the 13th. I think those movies they're classic, but like, I got the Halloween movies. I think those are pretty good. I was actually Michael Myers in Your Haunt.
True.
That was awesome. I think Michael once again, Freddy Krueger, Jason, Michael, top 5.
Yeah.
All of them. I just never got into the movies that much, and that's my fault at the end of the day. But oops, I'm gonna cross these off as I go, just so I remember what I said and what I didn't.
Okay.
Next, got I got VHS. I don't know if you've ever heard of that movie, but they're like these people like find these VHS tapes, and then they like play them, and they're like like short story like horror films.
Oh, okay.
Each of them have like some extremely disturbing like found footage on them. And then as the movie goes on, the more tapes they play, the more like haunted they get too.
Mm-hmm.
So I enjoyed that. It was fun. Me and Josh really liked that movie. I got The Blair Witch Project on my honorable mention. I think that's a very iconic movie. It's like what got like found footage horror going. Not a huge fan of The Blair Witch Project, but I think it's like very iconic. I got Paranormal Activity. I think that's another like really iconic movie. Like they're like the low budget of it just made it insane. The amount of money they actually made out of it was like crazy because they only got like I want to say like $5,000 or $10,000 to make that movie, and it's all just security camera footage. So yeah. Next up, I don't know if you've watched these, but they're on Netflix. They're Netflix originals. They're called Fear Street, and there's 3 parts of them, and it's like a trilogy. They all wrap up together. I really enjoy it. Maybe sometime we can watch it. Watch these with Molly. They're very good. So, yeah. Next up, I got The Visit.
Is that the one at the grandparents?
Yes,
Yeah.
The Grandparents. I
remember
enjoy
the
that movie.
commercials.
Like, do you want to clean my oven?
Yeah.
Like, that's so iconic.
Get in the oven.
Yeah. Like, and the ending, oh, it is like the most fired up you'll ever get. It's so hype. I got the Pogepski tapes. I don't know if you've heard of that one. It's another found footage one. It's a great movie in my opinion. I think it's genuinely one of the scariest ones on my list. Like, I'm an awful person. I told Forrest this was a true story because it's a mockumentary. So I told him it was a true story, like it was a real documentary. And going into it thinking it's a real documentary, your like stomach turns. Because I personally went into it thinking it was real. I was like, that is disturbing as hell, but it's not real. So it's just like so funny at the end of the day.
Oh.
Feel bad. Sorry, Forrest. Next up, I got the Evil Dead franchise. I think that's a great franchise. I just
Yeah.
went and watched Evil Dead Rising with Molly recently. That was a great movie, so I enjoyed that. I have The Ritual on Netflix. I think it's a really good movie. I think it's about like almost like Greek mythology type like monsters. Like they go into the woods and like it's all called shit, really. And they all like admire this demonic like animal in the woods and it's pretty good. Um this one isn't really a horror movie, it's more like a thriller. It's called Extremely Wicked, Shockingly Vile and Evil. It's a Ted Bundy like movie
Yeah.
about him.
Yeah, I've seen that.
It's a very good movie in my opinion. I think um while it's just like who did Evan Peters just play in that
Dahmer.
Dahmer? Those movies and shows are just so like this is fucked. Like this
Yeah.
actually happened. But like they're like so compelling. Like you just want to know more about the person, like why they did it.
Yeah.
But they're awful people at the end of the day. Now we're getting to three that just barely missed my list. I got the Babadook.
I knew it.
100% Rotten Tomatoes says it all for me, truly. It's a classic. Caleb doesn't like the movie. It was one of the first horror movies I've ever watched, so that's got that going for it. I got The Black Phone that just came out last year. Really interesting movie. I really liked it. It was my favorite horror movie of last year. Overall, just fun. And then just like I'm seriously like saying this was number 10 on my list at one point. Freddy versus Jason. That movie, holy crap. Watch that with your friends. It is probably the most like fun like the boys movie ever. Like it's like Batman versus Superman, but like with horror figures. It's sick. It is so good. That's my last honorable mention.
I added a couple.
Okay.
Forgot about the movie My Friend Dahmer, which isn't Evan Peters,
Mm-hmm.
but still like really good. And then yeah, the extremely wicked, shockingly whatever.
Yeah.
Where someone famous played Ted Bundy.
He's a smoke show. I always forget his name though.
He was in Baywatch.
High School Musical.
Yeah.
What's his name? I'm getting furious thinking about it. I always forget it.
Picture his face.
Name's Troy in High School Musical.
Yeah. But anyways, yeah, that's a great movie. But back to what I've actually written. Rosemary's Baby. Sure you.
Zac Efron.
Yeah. Okay.
Hottie.
Yeah, true, true. No, I've got Rosemary's Baby, which I guarantee you've never heard of it.
Never heard of that.
It's a very culty horror movie. I think it came out in the 80s. It's like there's this whole prophecy where this person was gonna have a baby, well, which is Rosemary. She has this baby, and well, she finally gets a boyfriend, like that's actually nice to her, and then he's not all of a sudden. He just becomes like this absolute jerk and starts like manipulating her and then like forces her to have a child.
Mm-hmm.
And then it turns out to be like the spawn of Satan. It just it's crazy. It's like it's less like, ah, I'm scared, but it's more like, oh my god. Like that's actually awful.
Yeah.
Then I've got Gerald's Game.
I literally was just thinking when you said that, I was like, bro, I'm thinking of Gerald's Game right now.
Yeah.
That movie, like, it just makes me so uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Like, it's so.
It's truly like oof.
The ending's so weird.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Um yeah, no. Gerald's Game is quite quite a roller coaster.
Yeah.
I believe Stephen King wrote it too.
That
Or
wouldn't
it
be
was
surprising.
that or it was inspired.
You write another one?
Yeah. Um Also my number one pick is also extremely controversial. Anyways, let's see. Gerald's Game. I got Nightmare on Elm Street. I don't like the movies,
Okay.
to be honest.
Okay.
I think I really like the idea of Freddy Krueger as a character. Like, if you think about him before you go to sleep, it's like, oh my god. And then you just think about him and think about him. Like, that concept is great. And invading dreams, because no matter what, you're gonna have to sleep. You can't, like, stay
Yeah.
awake forever. But yeah, the fact that just he can invade your dreams and kill you in there and then you die in real life is like, that's great. But I don't like the movies.
I didn't really either. I think the first one's like kind of funny, but like that's it.
Yeah. Excuse me. Next, we've got Babadook. I don't hate it that much. If you boil it down, it is like pretty creepy. Like what happens to the kid and the mom and the dog.
Some pretty disturbing things.
It is truly like disturbing.
Like the TV show when she's like bugging out.
Yeah.
That like makes my like stomach turn. Like I don't know, like those
Yeah.
like the like 1940s like kind of like TV show like disgusting horror type stuff is like I don't know. Anyways.
No, like though I may make fun of it a lot, it's actually a good horror movie. Next I've got Alien. Classic space horror. You're trapped up there. You don't know what the horror is, but it's gonna kill you. I've got Coraline. That creeps a lot of kids out.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
I just every time it comes on Netflix, I like force myself to watch it again, just because it's like so weird.
Yeah. But that's like what's so good about it. I'll just keep that there. I mean, like the button eyes and like the psycho parents in the other world. Next I've got Pet Sematary. Great movie. Another Stephen King. Yeah, trying to get your pets back, but then realizing it's like there's just a ton of them buried. Great movie. Then I've got the Scream franchise. Ghostface, iconic slasher. That's all I gotta say about him. I think the best one was Scream 1, because after that they just got worse every movie.
Hey, man, last one had Jenna Ortega.
Yeah.
I heard that's not bad.
Okay. Well,
I've never watched them though.
yeah.
Like the new ones, I should say.
I think I watched like Scream 1 through 4, but I don't know. Next, I've got The Thing, which is like classic 70s body horror. This pilot lands and accidentally like lets loose this thing that like takes over people's bodies and it takes over the dog and it's super gross, but also like really good. If you think about it, it's like the regular like classic you're trapped in Antarctica where no one's gonna hear you and this thing is taking over everybody and you don't know who it's infected because it can like perfectly portray the person it was before. So it's like Among Us. Then I've got Hereditary. It's just a good movie.
That made me so angry. Never say that shit again.
If you've seen Hereditary, it needs no explanation. It's just unsettling and a lot of the clicking noises. Yeah. I've got Creep, which I would be surprised if it wasn't on your list because Peach Fuzz is very iconic.
At least with our friends, it's pretty.
Yeah.
Hello, my
Uh,
name is Peach Fuzz. It's so bad.
yeah. It like I really like it as a low budget horror movie. Like it's two guys in a cabin.
It probably did not cost
Yeah.
anything to make that movie, which is nuts. Cause
Yeah.
it's a meme with our friend group, but it genuinely is a good movie.
Mhm.
Like,
Yeah. Um Next I've got Jaws. Classic. Jaws. Pretty much everyone's seen it. Everyone knows that title screen with the thumbnail, the classic just big shark. Then we've got A Quiet Place by John Krasinski. Great movie. Very little like actual lines in it, but just the way that they have to live and like any sound alerts them. Like,
I forgot about that. That would be on my honorable mentions, though.
yeah.
It's a pretty good movie, yeah.
And then Chucky. It's like the movies are okay, but he's super iconic, so
Yeah.
that's kind of why I put him on there. Classic slasher doll. And then like technically horror, not really. More of like a comedy is Beetlejuice.
I watched that with you.
Yeah, it's such a good movie. The reason it didn't make my top 10 is because it's not scary horror, which is mostly what my top 10 is, but such a good movie. I'd probably rank it in my top 10 for like other things, but no, I really like Beetlejuice. Plus the musical's great. So, and then one thing I wanted to mention is I haven't seen anything from Evil Dead, and I haven't seen Get Out. I've heard Get Out is an amazing
I
movie.
heard that's also a pretty good movie, yeah.
So I just wanted to mention that before I get to my top 10.
I have not watched the original Evil Deads,
Mm-hmm.
um, which I want to get to eventually.
Yeah.
But me and Molly watched Evil Dead Rising, which smacked.
Okay.
Um, and then we watched the one from 2013, which technically Evil Dead Rising is like the second one from the 2013 or 2012 one.
Okay.
That one sucked ass.
Oh.
So I did not like that one.
Yeah.
But it was like classic like 2013 horror. Like
Mhm.
I don't know how to explain it. Me and Molly were talking about that, but like every horror movie from like that area just seems exactly the same. Like
Yeah.
the same kind of feeling, and at the time I'm sure it was fine, but now it's just like that was just annoying. Like it's so
Yeah.
frustrating to watch. Like yeah. Also, something else, since you were mentioning horror comedy kind of thing, that reminded me, I was thinking of the 2015 Goosebumps movie with Jack Black.
Oh yeah, that's
That's
a
a
good movie.
good movie, yeah. It's not scary at all,
No.
but
So I
it's
mean, like if you count it, it'll be on my honorable mentions. If not, then
I would put that in my honorable mentions.
yeah.
If I like remembered it at the time, it probably would be on it. But yeah,
Yeah.
I had that's what I was looking up. I was making sure what year it's from. So yeah, is that your honorable mentions?
Yep.
All right. I have a tie for 10th,
Wow.
and I'll explain why in a second.
Okay.
I have Hell House LLC and Grave Encounters tied at 10. And it's because both are like found footage horror, which is like one of my favorite like genres.
Yeah.
Because it's just like they're making this stuff off of like not that much money. And
Mhm.
like some of them are like the jump scares kind of get you, just 'cause whatever. Hell House, I don't know if you've seen it. It's a found footage mockumentary of these like this group of people taking over like previously haunted diner, I think, and they make a haunted house out of it, and like they find out that like some cult was being run there, like they live there to like because they paid for it, so they live there, like, and they make it like every day. We have to watch it. It's a banger.
Okay.
Me and the boys watch it. It's great. Grave Encounters. I don't know if you've seen Grave Encounters. They're great. It's another mockumentary. This guy's like, "Welcome to Grave Encounters. We're gonna go to a scary place today," and then the scary place ends up,
Being scary.
yeah, pretty much. So yeah, that's my 10. I put them together. I don't like putting two things in one spot usually, but they're very similar in
Okay.
ways, and I feel like they should both get props on my list. I could have pushed one off to honorable mention, but I think I like them pretty equally. So, yeah.
Number 10. That's just because I really like the character. Friday the 13th. The first one. The one that Jason's in for like 3 seconds. Um, I went into it waiting to see Jason. You don't see him. It's his mom the whole time. Like, oh my
I
god.
watched that one with you. I'm pretty, like, almost certain.
Yeah. And then Jason jumping out at the end. No one saw that coming.
Big poopy energy. Shit my pants.
Yeah.
Yeah. Keep going.
um, Camp Crystal Lake will always be a location that I remember in my brain forever. Partly because we were in Boy Scouts, and after watching Friday the 13th, there was a camp out that was on a a location called Crystal Lake, and I was like, uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, but I really like the Jason mask. Doesn't appear in the movie because it's Miss Voorhees the whole time, but the idea of it's great. Like all these camp counselors showing up. The characters are okay at best.
They're pretty goofy.
They're pretty transparent and stereotypical. So,
Which, at the end of the day, pretty iconic.
yeah,
Like, they get mocked a lot in
yeah.
other movies, which shows how great the movie was at some point. So,
Um, but yeah, besides that, I really like the movie though. But yeah, it's my number 10.
nice. Number 9, I got the Saw franchise. I really enjoy Saw. Me and Molly watched all 7 or 8 of them in a row. Like, not the same night, but
Yeah.
like over like 2 days. Um, I'm gonna check real quick. Me and Molly made a ranking of them after the fact, and I might still have it. Otherwise, I deleted it. I wouldn't be surprised. Oh, I have them. I have Saw 1 in first. It's the best one. It's the most iconic one,
Yeah.
where they're stuck in like one singular room the entire time, and there's like a murderer going after like one guy's family, and yeah, no, it's easily the best one. They progressively get more goofy and goofy. The one main character from the first one stays in it for like a couple movies after, which is like really nice to see, honestly. Um, yeah, Saw's pretty slept on. I get it's pretty goofy. I get it's very gory, which not many people enjoy, but if you get behind the story, if you get really invested in it, I think it makes it more fun to watch. So, yeah. Saw at 9 for me.
Number 9. This may be a shocker, but I've got It, the re-release.
Mhm.
I haven't seen the one that came out in the 90s, but it kind of revolutionary when it came out because I think Pennywise comes out every 21 or 27 years, and it was 20. I think it's 21 years. It came out 21 years after the original one, which is like, oh, that's funny. Uh, but Pennywise is just an iconic character. Everyone recognizes him when he gets seen. Another Stephen King, but it like when it came out, we were like the same age as the kids in the movie, so it was like, oh, dude, like
Yeah.
we all had to band together to fight off our own Pennywise. That would suck. But
Some brave mother truckers in that movie.
yeah, the thing that doesn't make it scary though is it takes place in Derry, Maryland, I think, and every like 21 years. So it's like, oh, it's not like a constant fear. You're not constantly like, oh no, is this thing gonna get me? It's like once in a
Yeah.
lifetime, maybe 2 or 3 times. If you're only in this specific location, it's like
Yeah.
otherwise that it's whatever. But no, Pennywise is great. I really like the characters, and even if you call Pennywise the villain, otherwise you can call Henry Bowers the villain too. Like the bullies at the school, all of them were really good. But yeah,
Everyone played their part pretty well in
yeah,
that. So
really like it 1 and 2, especially 1. But sometimes it feels like 2 was kind of rushed.
it was.
There were moments in that movie where it was like, ooh, like
Doofies.
yeah, that could have been done differently.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Number 8, I have it. Um, yeah, I don't know. It's so iconic when it came out.
Yeah.
It was like seriously like revolutionary horror. Like
Yeah.
every age group went and watched that movie, which is like kind of insane, honestly.
Mhm.
It like the magic of watching that like when it first came out was like insane. I think it lost its charm over the years though. I
Yeah.
have tried rewatching it, and when I say try, it's not like it's hard to rewatch it. It's still a good movie, but
Yeah.
like it's not nearly as good as it once was. Um, it too was really crazy when it initially like came out. It was like all these kids are grown up now and they have to fight them again. Like how many ever years, like 21 or whatever you said years
Yeah.
later. But it was rushed, which made it not as good. I think it gets overhated on though.
Mhm.
It too is not a bad movie.
No.
People are overreacting. They were expecting like the second coming, which just
Mhm.
wasn't gonna happen. Pennywise is like seriously a horror icon now.
Yeah.
Like if he wasn't in like the original, now he is. Like what's can't remember the actor's name. Skarsgård.
Bill
Yeah.
Skarsgård, yeah.
He is just like any like creepy like CGI character from now on is just played by him. Like he was Crow in Eternals.
Oh man.
Yeah,
Huh.
he is just like he's taken over so many roles. Yeah, no, I don't really have much to say about it. I just knew it would be on my top 10
Yeah.
because I just didn't know where. It's just such an iconic movie, truly. So, yeah, I have that 8.
Um at 8, I know you've never heard of this before. It's called Reanimator. It's I believe it came out in the 70s.
Yeah.
It, ah,
Ask Jeffrey about that one. Maybe you'll know it.
it is creepy. It's also extremely messed up. So, if you decide to watch it, there's your warning. But it is very it's a disturbing movie. um Basically this guy from I think Spain moves to the US and moves in with this guy to go to college to be like a scientist for I don't know, some type of scientist. And all of a sudden like all this weird things start happening, like he starts bringing in all these weird materials and he's like, "Okay, you can't come into my room at all." And then all of a sudden like rats and mice. He's got like a giant freezer in his room and he's like got rats and mice in it, like dead ones. And then not to like completely spoil it, but he tries to like revive them, so reanimate them. And then it eventually gets so bad he kills like the house cat and or either it gets run over or he just straight up kills it and he reanimates it and it works. And then he was like, well, if it works on cats, it could work on humans. And then eventually it just spirals out of control. And then there's a really messed up scene. So there's your warning. Don't don't blame me if you watch that and you're like, can't believe he rated that in his top 10. That scene is so messed up. It is. I'm acknowledging that. It's a good movie.
You don't have Human Centipede in your list, right?
No.
Okay, thank God.
No.
Thank
I
God.
would
Glad we're
never.
on the same page there. Another honorable mention that I kind of forgot about is Terrifier with Art the Clown. I know you don't like that
I don't
movie,
like
but
Terrifier at all.
I enjoy it. I heard the second one's even more
I
disgusting.
heard people threw up in the
Yep.
theater. It's like now I want to watch it.
Yep. So yeah, there's that. Forgot about that, but it's really not a great movie. I just think it's like art's pretty like if that movie came out in like the 2000s, I think he'd be pretty iconic. But with it being like nowadays, it's like eh. So, all right. We on seven.
Yes.
Seven, I have Creep.
I knew it.
Yeah, Creep is great.
Yeah.
It's very good. Creep 2, arguably even better, in my
Yeah.
opinion. That main character, like the main creep, I don't
Mm-hmm.
know his name, sorry. He's a great actor
Yeah,
for
he
that.
is.
He is so good at being like this like weird ass motherfucker.
Yeah.
Like and the first one's great. The little jump scares, the little like, oh, this guy is like he's turning into something weird. Like
Yeah.
the bath scene,
Yeah.
uncomfortable. Um, he like pretends that he's dying from cancer, so that's why this guy's recording him, but truly he's just like nuts.
Yeah.
And he's just like, and every time he kills someone, there's a recording of it, and he
Mm-hmm.
keeps it. And then the second one's about this girl that's like trying to make a name for herself, like doing documentaries on YouTube and stuff. She's like, oh, there's this guy that wouldn't mind taking like a documentary role. And then he turns out to be the guy from the first movie.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh, maybe he has changed. No, he
No.
hasn't. But it's great.
Yeah.
You know what that got on Rotten Tomatoes Creep 2?
What?
100%.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's like don't go into it thinking it's the greatest movie of all
No.
time. Go into it going, this is found footage film. This is like literally two people with one or two cameras in one location, like making a movie. Like that's all it really is. And
Mm-hmm.
which is just crazy to me. It's like they made such good movies, like just with like two characters, like camera, like found footage. It's yeah.
Yeah.
I really enjoy Creep. I think it's extremely underrated.
I
So
think it probably would have been like 11th on my list.
yeah,
Like it's so good.
yeah.
Um, at number 7, and I am so sad that it couldn't beat anything else. Got The Shining. Shining's a great movie. Jack Torrance is a great character. The whole like that location's extremely iconic now. I hate what's her name, Wendy, the wife. It's just a bad character and bad acting. Like that.
Extremely bad acting.
Yeah. And she like grew up and now she's like nuts. Like
Not surprising.
I think everyone who's watched that movie is like, yeah, she's just awful.
You know what's
Um,
really funny? And I feel like I've told you this before,
what?
but it's funny for the pod. Forrest has been to that hotel.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
Never watched the movie.
Oh.
He has gone to the hotel but never watched the movie. That's just insane to me. Like how?
That's so sad.
Yeah.
It's so tragic.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, the whole thing with um I don't even remember the little boy's name, but I remember his little Tony. I remember the dude that talked to him, and then the chef also being able to have the shining power, um, so they could talk to each other. Which that was super cool, and like if you watch like a debunk on it, they're like casually like it's like the Force from Star Wars, but a little different. Um, Throughout the whole thing, the chef is casually like picking facts out of the little boy's head and like saying them out loud. It's like, oh, Oh, sick.
All right, here's my question for you, not to cut you off. Have you seen Doctor Sleep?
No.
I have not either,
I've heard
but
it's
I have it
great
on
though.
DVD, so we need to watch it.
Yeah.
I bought it and I was like, I need to buy The Shining too. Never went around to buying it. I just went
Yeah.
through a because that was when pre-play was still open on West.
Sure.
So I was like, I'm gonna buy a ton of movies while they're going out of business because it was all clearanced out,
Yeah.
and never got around to buying The Shining. And I never ended up watching Doctor Sleep because I wanted to watch them in like right one after the other
Yeah.
because I just think that'd be more fun.
Yeah.
So, but I've
No,
heard good things.
I've heard
So
really good things about Doctor Sleep, but no, The Shining, the true like insanity that Jack Torrance goes into, and then that like the iconic scenes like the bloody elevator, the twins, the cursed hotel room, the weird bear scene.
yeah, I
um, yeah,
I want to say something real quick that kind of hypes up Evil Dead Rising a little bit. I didn't have the balls to put it on my top 10, but I think it would have been pretty close. I think it's just recency bias since I just
sure.
watched it. But the one really cool thing about Evil Dead Rising that me and Molly were like kind of picking apart after the movie was they just had so many like callbacks to iconic scenes. There was a blood elevator in Evil Dead
Mm,
Rising. There was a chainsaw with Ash from the originals.
classic.
Um, there's just so many good callbacks. I'm pretty sure there's more. I just can't think of them off my top of my head. But
Yeah,
if you haven't seen Evil Dead Rising, go watch it. It's a theater experience, truly. I think, in my opinion, the theater we went to, you know what I'm talking
yeah.
about. It was a small theater. It's like 4 rows. It was like their smallest one, but it was probably the loudest theater I've ever been in my
Hmm.
life, which just made it like everything was scary just because it was like
Yeah.
boom. Yeah. Anyways, not to cut you off, but
But yeah,
just remind me of that.
yeah. Shining, great movie.
Yeah, I agree. Number 6, I have Us. It's a Jordan Peele movie. Um, Us is a film about this family going to their cabin, and they notice some like really weird stuff. I can't remember exactly everything about it. I don't know if you've ever watched a Jordan Peele like horror movie.
Probably.
They all have super deep meaning and they all connect
Hmm.
apparently. Like every one of them has connected so far. But basically, go on the beach. Um, the like youngest one like wanders away to this area, da da da, and then while they're at the cabin, like the beach is by the cabin, they notice that there's doppelgangers of them in their driveway, like the exact same people, and they get chased by their doppelgangers, like creepy ass versions of themselves, like and they like get chased by them all movie. Turns out there's like a worldwide doppelganger crisis. Like all the like doppelgangers of the other people are like killing the
Hmm.
originals, and at the end of the movie, spoiler alert, kind of, they like on the beach there was like a fun house, like mirror house, and behind one of the mirrors was an underground society of doppelgangers from the real world. So it was like us, but like different versions, like almost like a multiverse of like
Yeah.
us. And the little girl gets swapped at a young age with the doppelganger, and the
Oh.
doppelganger lives her life normally. She's like, I don't want to be down here. And the doppelganger kid comes back to get them like 10 years later, 15 years later.
Oh.
Pretty good movie.
Yeah. Is that the trend on TikTok? Like, if you see a someone
I
that looks like
think it might
you,
have came from that.
like, like the
Not sure though.
it's always dark and the TV's fuzzy, and they're like, yeah, if you see
I
someone that
also have
looks
that on disc, so if you ever want to watch
okay,
that,
I'll
it's
probably watch
pretty
that.
good. Yeah.
Yeah, they're like, call the police immediately, and then it's always like them just smiling but farther
Yeah,
away.
it's weird. I That trend's creepy. Anyways, so yeah,
Still
that's
watch all of them though.
yeah, me too. That's my number 6.
Okay.
So,
My number 6, you might have heard of this. Definitely haven't watched it. Um, Nosferatu, the second one.
Sounds familiar, but yeah, I never
I
watched it.
think there's one that came out. It was the one that was like more of a silent film. It was all black and white, but it's really like revolutionary because it was like Dracula before Dracula. First like vampire film out there. There's like a bunch of extremely iconic scenes, but like there's this one spot where I think the main character's name in the movie is Jack. I don't know. I read Dracula like right before watching it, so that's probably what also increased the experience. But there's basically the whole thing the whole thing of Dracula is like he hires this guy to come to his hotel slash his house. Not hotel, it's Hotel Transylvania. Come to his big house, and he's an aristocrat, so he like inherited all this money. And classic vampire, like they suck on your blood to renew themselves. um they hire this guy to come to their hotel and like make him feel welcome, and pretty much just feed off of them and just keep doing that over and over. Well, this guy he hires, and he doesn't know how to like he keeps losing to him, so he doesn't like get his blood,
Hmm.
and then he leaves. So then the main character like knows all about his plan, and it's like, uh-oh, like what do we do now? And Nosferatu, like he leaves, he's got this whole plan to like go take over everyone, turn everyone into vampires and stuff.
Hmm.
The ending is super anticlimactic. Like that's what made me put it at 6. Just because I'll probably spoil it. We most likely won't watch it.
I don't, unless you absolutely want me to watch it. I
Yeah,
don't know
like
when I would find the time to watch it unless I watch it with you. So.
yeah. Um Basically he like gets in the room with the main character's girlfriend, and then all of a sudden light shines through the window and he disappears. He just dies. And
Jesus.
it's like that's weird because he was already exposed to light previously in the film, like direct sunlight.
Hmm.
So I don't know why now makes a difference, but it was a revolutionary film for the horror franchise, and it's great. So,
My one and only horror comedy on this list is The Babysitter. I love the Babysitter franchise on Netflix. Babysitter 2 might just be better than Babysitter 1. If you haven't seen it, it's this guy that gets babysat by this one girl. Turns out the girl's a part of a cult. She does the cult in his house, along with like Bella Thorne's in it.
King Batch.
King Batch is in it. Super funny movie,
Yeah,
hilarious, but it's so good overall. Second movie's arguably even better. Um, don't
Jenna
get
Ortega's
Yeah,
in
Jenna
it.
Ortega's in it. I won't get much into it. Because I'll be here all day. Super hype for the boys kind of movie. But yeah, no, I love that franchise. It's genuinely good. Like, it's goofy. It's meant
Yeah.
to be goofy though. Like, you have to go into it going, okay, this is like silly, but it's good. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, all the actors did their parts really well. There
Mm-hmm.
wasn't a bad performance in it, in my opinion. The parents were hilarious, like especially in the second one. Yeah, I had the Babysitter franchise at 5.
Any horror fan is gonna be like, both of you guys had these movies at number 5. Um, Number 5, I've got The Exorcist. Oh my God, is that a creepy movie? I also read the book before it, so kind of they left out some things from the book that makes me angry. The movie is like 2.5 hours long, and they still cut out a couple major things from the book.
Jesus.
Yeah, I mean the book is like 300 pages or something.
Hmm.
Uh, but classic. I think it was the first movie to really do like demonic possession. And there are some like terrible scenes in it, things that are like genuinely awful, so don't blame me if it if you watch it and you're like, "Really? You like that and that scene's in it?" Yeah, I think it could be taken out and it's still a great movie. There are things that go like way too far. Um, but it's a really good movie. It feels like everything in the movie was a little like too fast paced though, because they tried to fit so much information in 2.5 hours. Um, when it came out, I think in like 70, I want to say late 70s, there were just lines everywhere. Like I watched a documentary, like there were lines like around the movie theaters for people just waiting to see this 2.5 hour movie, which creates long lines because it's not like the theater's full,
Yeah.
and you gotta wait for the movie to end. But it was truly like a revolutionary, not the most revolutionary horror movie, because that's a different movie. But the characters, every single one of them, are great. Even the demon itself, um, even the exorcist himself, like all the characters are great. Chris is great. The daughter's great, but everything's just great. I really like that movie. It's awful.
Just thought of another honorable mention that might piss you off. I don't know if you count it as a horror movie or not,
Okay.
but I forgot about The Silence of the Lambs. That's an honorable mention.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I kind of figured that's gonna be on your list at some point. I literally saw it, went,
Yeah.
okay, this will be on my list or honorable mention,
Yeah.
and then I started looking at other shit and forgot about it. So
Makes sense.
yeah, no, Silence of the Lambs is a great movie. So yeah, that'd probably be in my if I. You're so mad. I'm just gonna. I'm sure we'll talk about it in a little bit. Number four. I think in this top four, maybe I think one would stay for sure. Have I said any of the movie that you're thinking of yet?
Nope.
Makes me kind of worried that I might have forgot about it or something.
No, it's gotta be.
I think the top like four, three, and two could swap around any
Okay.
day of the week. Number four, I have Insidious. I think that's one of the like most like iconic horror movies of our generation.
Mm-hmm.
It is it's still going on. There's another new one coming out. Like and it's all the original cast. Like
Wow.
I wouldn't say the original, but they've haven't killed many people off, which I
Interesting.
appreciate. The main character is so iconic, and I'm forgetting his name, which really frustrates me. So I'm gonna look it up real quick. But he's in so many movies. If I'm thinking of the right person,
Um, it's the same guy that's in like Annabelle, right?
yes,
And The Ring.
Patrick Wilson.
Yeah. Yeah.
He's so
He's
good.
in like every
He's
horror
in
movie
like
ever.
yes, Patrick Wilson is like a horror icon at this point. He's in
Yeah.
everything. And he does so good in this. Like all the Insidious movies are fun in their own ways.
Mm-hmm.
I think arguably the Insidious like jump scare is one of the scariest jump scares of all time because people just like weren't expecting it and all of a sudden there's just a red man behind them. It's
Yeah.
like goddamn. Um yeah, no. I it's truly just in my opinion like one of the founding like scary movies in like of my kind of like brain. Like
Yeah.
it's one of the first ones I ever watched. Like clearly it's iconic to our generation, like I said, of horror. It's
Uh-huh.
not like iconic to most people's, but I would say for us it's probably up there.
Yeah.
And I just love Insidious, especially the first one. I think the first one kind of beats out all the other ones like pretty easily, but
Yeah.
yeah. Insidious, number 4.
Um, Number 4. Guarantee you haven't seen this. The Bride of Frankenstein. I think it came out, I want to say like 40s, maybe 30s.
Pretty sure it's on the list that you sent me.
It was.
Okay.
Um,
I like scrolled by it, so yeah.
it's just a great movie. Every single character has like a concrete backstory, especially the hermit, my favorite character. It's this blind guy. Um, the actor for Frankenstein, his name's Boris Karloff. He's nuts. He's not actually nuts, but it's crazy how good he can play Frankenstein. The thing that makes it so revolutionary though is it brings a lot of like depth to Frankenstein's monster. Oh yeah, Boris Karloff played Frankenstein's monster, not Dr. Frankenstein. Um, I usually forget to say the monster part. But
To be fair, you're like 1 in 5% people that actually call him Frankenstein's monster. Everyone else just calls it Frankenstein.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no. It's just um to sum up the really good part, Frankenstein's monster gets released on the town again, and he's not trying to be like a scary guy. He's just like 6'5", big green, and goes "Bruh." Like, and people are just terrified of him.
Yeah.
And he has like the mentality of like I want to say like a 12-year-old. Um, so he's like understanding everything, but he's learning, and people are just terrified of him because he's different. So he runs away, and he finds this hermit, and the hermit is blind, doesn't know what Frankenstein looks like, um, and they become friends. Like Frankenstein's monster gets hurt at some point, and the hermit's like, "Oh, my friend, you're hurt," and he like bandages him up and stuff. Um, and they become like friends for a little bit. He takes him in. Frankenstein's monster sleeps there, and it's like, wow, maybe it's because all these people are judging Frankenstein's monster on his appearance. Because all of them were.
Yeah.
He was just trying to be a nice guy. He doesn't hate people. He doesn't hate humans. He's just angry because you're angry at him. And it's like, oh my God. All of that,
Wow.
yeah, all of that packed into that movie, plus the rest of the movie. There's just shots in the movie where it's like, oh my God, it's like right here. It like shows you what's gonna happen in one single frame, but you don't know what's gonna happen yet. It's like this guy, and this guy. It's like him versus them. It's it's if you really break down the movie, it's truly just great. So
Mm.
I could go on about it forever.
Yeah. Number 3, I have The Conjuring. I think just like Insidious, it is
Yeah.
one of the most like popular horror movies of our generation.
Mhm.
Anyone with a Netflix account has watched The Conjuring.
Yep.
Um, it's so good. Like everything about it's just great. It's like a classic horror movie. Like if you can call like that, because you're talking about movies from like the 1900s, like the
The
70s.
1900.
I mean,
Yeah.
over the entire
Yeah.
1900s, like 70s, 40s, whatnot. But
Yeah.
like if there's a classic for us, The Conjuring's got to be on that list.
Yeah.
It is. Pretty sure Patrick Wilson's in that one too.
Yes, he is.
As like one of the main like conjurer people.
Yeah.
Like it's I don't know, dude, it's such a great movie. And like The Conjuring wraps up with Annabelle. I'm not a huge Annabelle fan. Like
Yeah.
those movies are kind of but like Annabelle's in The Conjuring. It's part of the like different things that they've like unpossessed or whatever you can call it. Um so yeah, no, those movies are just great generally. Another honorable mention that I forgot to bring up, just because it's like a goofy ass movie, is Monster House, the animated movie.
Yeah.
Pretty funny. Kind of scared me as a kid though, but Yeah, anyways. Conjuring, great movie. I don't have much to say about it. I just think it was another founding father of horror to me for my world of horror. Because obviously I was introduced to Netflix horror movies, which they're not Netflix originals, but they were on Netflix. So
Yeah.
Babadook, Conjuring, Insidious, all those things were on Netflix when I
Mm-hmm.
got into horror. And even if it's biased on my end, I think others would agree that Insidious and Conjuring are like pretty revolutionary for our generation of horror. So
Yeah.
yeah, this also shows Patrick Wilson's a horror god.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Um, I looked it up. Bride of Frankenstein came out in 1935. So, if I ever make you watch it, keep that in mind.
mm-hmm.
um, next one. Guarantee you haven't heard of this one either. Came out even earlier. It's
Boy,
called The Cabinet of Dr. Caligari. Came out in 1921. It's
nice.
a silent German film. um, all the costumes and sets in that movie look like it's straight out of like Tim Burton. So everything's like a little wonky and everything. But the fact that they were able to do it in 1921 is like, oh my God. Um, but basically, the whole concept is you've got Dr. Caligari, who's a hypnotist, and he's also got this guy named Cesar, and I'll just spoil it. I'm not gonna make you watch it. So spoiler alert. He hypnotizes this guy named Cesar to kill someone, and he does it. But it's like, who's guilty then? Like Cesar or Dr. Caligari? Because
Mm,
Cesar did it, but he was hypnotized. And then it goes through this whole thing, and you're like, who is guilty?
Bing thinker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's this whole thing, and then it got into Cesar's brain, and it turns out he's like a mental patient for Dr. Caligari the whole time, and it like goes through like what he does and all the other patients, and it's like, oh wait, did this actually happen, or was that a dream that like Cesar was having? And then at the end, um, Dr. Caligari like puts Cesar in his cell, and he gives a smile to the camera, and this is what's so crazy about the movie is you can't tell if the smile was like, oh, he's gonna get better, or oh, I can't believe I hid that all of that happened. So it's like, whoa.
Nice.
I should watch it again, really, but it's crazy, especially because it came out in 1921,
Yeah.
one of the first like great horror movies of all time. So,
Mm.
yep.
All right. Final two.
My final two are funny.
Um, number two, got The Shining. If you just gave me Jack Torrance, like the character, like um Jack Nicholson's performance of him,
Mm-hmm.
that's easily top five performance of all time in my opinion.
It's the movie I wrote down. I thought that was gonna be your number one.
It's genuinely one of the greatest movie performances like
Yeah.
ever, ever. Like the way he goes nuts is just crazy. Like the kid on the bike, cool, 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 cool. Like you said, the whole like chef knowing the Shining thing, the same thing as the kid. The scenes are disturbing at times, like the whole like bathroom scene, like where the girl like turns into like this rotted like woman,
Mm-hmm.
disgusting.
Yeah.
I hate the wife actor Wendy,
I
awful.
I think everyone just
Like it's not like I've seen people just be like, "Oh, she's disgusting." Like it's not because she's like bad looking.
no,
She's just an
it's just
awful
yeah,
actor.
it's just terribly is just executed
She's
poorly.
annoying. Like the way she talks, she's just such a bad written character.
Yeah.
It's bad. Like everything she says to Jack is just like,
La 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 la. It's like, why are you talking like
yeah,
that?
like, or like the time she's mad at Jack, it's just like, you sound dumb. Like the whole like maze scene at the end's pretty nuts.
Yeah.
The snow's pretty crazy. Overall, The Shining is like a very good story. It's a
Mm-hmm.
great story, if that.
Yeah.
Um, and the reason it's not number one is because it's just not that scary. It's a great like thriller,
Yeah.
and it's definitely a horror movie.
Mm-hmm.
It just kind of depends what you think scary is, and it's not that scary to me.
No.
It's a psychological thriller, which
Yeah.
was done to perfection besides Wendy's character. So that's why it's number 2 for me.
That was close. I remember you at some point saying like The Shining is my favorite horror movie.
And I think I said that because I forgot about my number 1.
Oh,
Completely whiffed it
man.
in my
I'm
brain.
trying to think of what it could be. Um Anyways, I'll take a couple guesses after though. Number 2, we got Silence of the Lambs.
I think if I watched it more than once, it'd be on my top 10.
We did watch it together.
Yeah, we had to watch it for class.
Yeah.
So,
Um Hannibal Lecter is a genius. He's an amazing character.
great character.
Oh my god. He's always like 10 steps ahead in the whole movie. Except for when I don't remember her name. The girl that,
Main girl?
yeah.
Yeah, I don't
I
remember
feel
her
like
name
it's
either.
Nicole or something. Um, because all I can think about is how big brain Hannibal is and how like disgustingly smart that character is. Um, but yeah, he's always like 10 steps ahead. And the true villain in that, the guy that wants to be like wear the woman's suit is like that's really messed up. Like you go and kill these people, make sure they have the right measurements to fit you, and you put on their skin as a suit. Like
Yeah.
that that's awful.
Yeah.
Um, and you like put them in this well and have them like soften up their skin, and then you kill them. But you have a cute dog, so like, no.
Yeah, that was
Yeah,
it's kind of a crazy part because it's like two stories colliding. It's
yeah.
very interesting. I like I said, if I think I watched it like one more time, it would probably be my top 10. It was a
Mhm.
great movie. So
Yeah. No, it is truly just when you think about it, it is just awful. Good movie,
yeah,
just awful.
everything that
So,
happens is pretty awful. So
yeah.
yeah, the number 1 time.
Yeah.
I have no clue what your number 1 is, and I couldn't even guess it. So I don't think you know what mine is.
I don't
I
know what
don't
yours
mention it
is.
very often. So all right, number 1, I have Sinister.
Hmm.
It is probably one of the most scary movies of this generation. I am the one where I do not get scared at the horror movies, but this movie jumped me multiple times. Um, on an index heart rate scale, they made like 50 or to 100 people watch like 100 horror movies over a very long period of
Yeah.
time to see what movie made
I
their heart
remember
jump.
that. Yeah.
Sinister is number 1 by over a
Dang.
mile probably.
Okay.
Um, it's so good. Like the whole movie's about this guy. He like moves his town. He writes books. I'm pretty sure, and like he like does like criminal type books about like scary things that happen. And they move into like a haunted ass house because he wants to write another book because they're getting broke again, I think.
Yeah.
And the wife's like, nah, screw this, because like the kid has this like whole ordeal of like getting attached to like bad like spirits and stuff already, and it's just so good. Like I can't even explain. Like the first time watching that like was better than watching it for the first time in my opinion. Like it was like a spectacle, but this like I was like that's good. Like I've never been freaked out in a movie like that before. Like I wasn't freaked out after the fact. Like I
Yeah.
wasn't like afraid to go to bed or like something like that, but like I haven't been jump scared that much. And the whole thing is like, oh, dude, I have you even seen Sinister?
I don't think so.
Oh my god. Hold on. Let me
I know you've definitely seen my number one. You've
like it's this character.
I've seen that character before. I
I don't know if you guys can see this or not.
still don't think I've seen the movie though.
The scariest part about the movie is the tapes that he finds. Because he's trying to like figure out what's going on, how to write the. I think he's a book writer at least. Maybe he's just like a police figure. I can't really remember. It's been
Yeah.
like a couple years since I've watched it last. But he finds these tapes in the house, and they're all just disturbing ass tapes of like someone getting mangled or like a whole family getting absolutely brutally murdered. Like I don't know. I'm not the best at explaining things when I can't really remember it very well,
Yeah.
but it's it's genuinely one of like the best horror movies I've ever seen. Obviously, it's my number one. So, like I said, top four could switch around any day. I think Sinister's probably my favorite though. So, if it was by my heart, Babysitter would be my favorite movie. But overall, scary. Like it has everything in it. Like Sinister's my favorite movie. So,
Okay.
yeah.
There's a couple movies where it's like you really rank this movie over that one. Um, and it's not because the characters are most of them are pretty solid. It's not because of the story, it's because of the ending. My number one is the original Halloween.
I kind of like just now thinking about it, I would have guessed that just because you hadn't said it yet,
Yeah.
but I didn't know that was your favorite movie.
Um, I mean, yeah, you go to a mental asylum to go see this guy who's been there since he was like 9, because he killed his sister, and then all of a sudden, it's like already stormy and like pretty terrible weather conditions when you get there. Um, and then yeah, all of a sudden, he breaks into the car and steals it and drives off, and it's like, oh, what
Oh,
happened? Um, and then yeah, he basically it's like he's nowhere to be found, and he's like stalking Jamie Lee Curtis. Um, and then they tangle, they fight. He kills all of her friends, and then he gets shot like 5 or 6 times, falls out backwards through a window, and he's laying there on the ground. And then the his caretaker slash like detective comes in, and he's like, "Yep, very strong guy." And then they look out the window, and he's gone. It's like,
I think I remember that slightly. I know I've watched it at some
yeah,
point. I just don't remember much of it, but
yeah, no, it's my favorite ending I've ever seen to a horror movie. Um, and I'm not gonna count any of the other Halloweens because I think they're bad.
I was gonna say I think Halloween would be higher on my list, or like honorable mentions, I guess. I don't know if it'd crack the top 10 if they would just like leave them alone. the remakes are
Yeah.
dog shit.
Yeah,
Like,
especially 2, 3, and then the current ones, like they just
current ones are awful.
yeah,
The only slightly okay one is like Halloween, like 2016. It's like when they just recently brought it back, but the
yeah,
sequels to that are awful. The one last year was awful.
yeah. They just keep milking it, and there's no way Jamie Lee Curtis could ever beat Michael.
No.
And then they're trying to make it happen. Whether it happened in the last one or not, I haven't seen it. I don't really want to. They can't. They just keep trying to ruin Michael, and
Yeah.
that's a shame. Because the second one, it was like all about the mask he put on, which no, because he didn't have that mask before he killed his sister. And fun fact, it's a Captain Kirk mask turned inside out. So that's a Star Trek character.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the iconic mask
Jesus
is. It's that
Christ.
just flipped inside out.
Um,
So
there's these TikTokers. Well, I wouldn't call them TikTokers. They also have a podcast.
uh-huh.
It's called Blake's Takes, and his brother Garrett and him do exactly what we do.
Yeah.
They're more film TikTok than us.
Sure.
His favorite film of all time is Halloween, and I've seen their rankings. It's like rank the best like Michael mask, rank the best like movies, like
Yeah.
all that stuff. It's like there's a lot of Michael Myers history, but they sometimes they just overdo it, you know?
Yeah.
I think Michael Myers of the like GOAT 3 with Freddy and Jason is probably the best one out of the three.
Yeah.
Which I don't know if that's a hot take or not. I think Freddy and Jason are scarier, but I think Michael's a better character. So
Yeah. I mean, like, you'll see him from far away and he's walking at you with this knife. And then you look away and you look back and he's, like, gone.
yeah,
He's, like, the best speed walker ever.
Slender Man.
Yeah. I didn't even name any of those movies because I don't like them.
I've never watched the Slender Man movies. I just know about the girl that actually killed someone, like her friend over Slender
Yeah.
Man, which is just dumb, but
Which
whatever.
I think happened in Wisconsin,
It
too.
did. Everything dumb happens in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
So,
We
yeah.
got Dahmer.
Yep.
We got
Texas Chainsaw Massacre happened in Wisconsin.
Yep.
Even though it's called Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
Yeah. And Michael's beefy. There's one scene in the first movie where he picks someone up by their neck with one hand, stabs a knife through their, like, I think it was a knife, but then he has it later. I don't know. He stabs something through them so hard that they stay, like, stuck. It's like,
Jesus.
oh my god.
Yeah.
But,
No. And I played him in a haunted house, so
true?
which makes it even cooler.
Yeah. It's the real reason why it's number one. No, it's
My
just,
performance as Michael Myers.
Yeah.
number one.
yeah. But, no. It's just, it's so good.
What I've learned from this, you have a lot of horror movies to watch that I like, and I have a lot of horror
Yeah.
movies to watch that you like.
Yeah,
So,
we should start making just a list.
yeah. We have a lot of movies to watch this summer.
Yep.
Like a lot.
We should watch your number one tonight.
Sinister.
Yeah.
We have to finish Bug's Life.
Oh yeah.
Well, we could do both. So,
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, hour 30. Exactly kind of what I was expecting it to be.
2.5 hour episode.
I get
That's-
there's trivia at the beginning, but that was 10 minutes. So
Yeah. The angriest trivia I've ever had.
I told you I was gonna get some harder stuff, but overall Captain Marvel's just not a good movie
Yeah.
either, so that doesn't help. Once again, if you made it this far, leave
Thank
a
you.
like, subscribe, comment your favorite horror movie. I think we offered completely different takes on horror.
Mm-hmm.
Let us know who had the better list. Let us know who. Probably.
Well, I mean, I don't know.
You had a more classic list. I had a more like modernized horror list.
I think people are gonna like yours more because mine are like, if you like dive into horror, into the history of it, then you'll probably like mine more. But if we have a younger audience, they'll know those movies way better.
I'm
So
surprised the amount I've said that you haven't watched.
yeah,
There's quite a few, and I get that. I like probably like 85% of them I watched like with Forrest or Tony, just like
yeah,
randomly, like, all right, let's throw it on. This is probably not gonna be that good. And it's just
yeah.
like, that was awesome. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Not I don't know if this is necessarily like a spoiler to next episode, but next episode might be our MCU ranking. So we'll see. Maybe unless we feel like recording tomorrow or something, like just a normal podcast. So look forward to that. Just for instance, this is May 22nd. I'm guessing you'll probably see this in June, maybe July. So
Yeah,
if some big horror movie has come out since then, I don't think.
I don't think so.
No, this list took a lot of thinking. I think this is the hardest list we made so far.
Yeah,
Um,
and I still forgot some. Like,
I think my worst forget was Silence of the Lamb, but I think
yeah, me too.
that was
I think it's an amazing movie.
I think I it's not that I'm denying its greatness. I just haven't watched it that many times.
Yeah.
So yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you guys for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.